Nice shot. Here comes your shooter. Shooter. Big buck.
Stack, stack, stack.
And welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is East Coast Michelle and
Just Kim.
Just Kim.
Just Kim.
All right, what do you guys think you're doing around here? This is enough. Just stop. Please stop. This is East Coast Trev and
Steve.
Just Steve?
Just Steve.
Why is it always just Steve?
Because what you see is what you get.
That's right. All right, we're down here in Virginia, the Virginia studio, down here in the... This is actually like God's heaven. The true mountains of...
The Blue Ridge Mountains.
The Blue Ridge Mountains. So we're down here for the opener, and yeah.
How's it going so far?
It's great. It's a great time. It's just like I expected here in Virginia.
Yeah, the struggle continues. I think at this point we could call it a curse.
I guess. We're going to break the curse, though.
Oh yeah.
Curse is getting broken tonight.
Mixing it up, doing something different.
That's right. So as you guys had heard from the beginning was the wives. We're going to do something a little bit special. Steven, why don't you tell them? This was your idea. This was your thing. So why don't you tell us about this?
All right.
I'm putting this all on you.
No, that's fine. That's
so
fine.
You can get in trouble with the girls.
It's really easy because basically we're going to make the girls talk about putting up with us during deer season. The wives' perspective on deer season.
And it's something a little bit different that nobody's ever done before.
I mean, people have talked about what their wives say or think, but we've never actually heard the wives.
Right.
So we're getting the first-hand point of view of this thing.
And they also got to hunt for the first time together yesterday, just the two of them.
Yeah.
So why don't we introduce them so everybody knows who they are? To my left is
Michelle.
Which is my wife, if anybody doesn't know. And
to my right is Kim.
Just Kim.
Just Kim.
I see they got this whole thing down. I'm a little afraid. So why don't we start off? Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about how your hunting experience was yesterday with Michelle? It was your first time in the blind, and Kim, you got to take her out on her first hunt.
Well, it was a quiet night, very still night. I was super excited to have finally a female on my right hand other than my husband 24/7 or just
Wait, you
by
mean
myself.
You don't like hunting with me?
I love hunting with you, but it was nice to finally have a female than all of the guys. I'm always used to like all these guys around and no estrogen, so needed a little more of that. So I felt very honored. It was Michelle's first time to ever actually go out and experience sitting in the blind or experience hunting, I think, in general.
Sitting in the blind.
Sitting in the blinds.
Yeah, sitting in the blind. I honestly have to say, though, for going out for my first time, it was probably better than going with Trev over here, who'd probably nitpick and...
Called him out.
This is how this whole episode's going to go, my friend. I don't know if you know that or not, but that's how this is going to go.
So I've got an emergency blanket over here to throw between you guys if it comes to blows.
No, I just think it was a better experience, so I know what to expect. And
no pressure.
Right. No pressure.
Because, I mean, Kim can tell you a husband will not put pressure on you when you're out learning how to hunt.
That's a bunch of BS.
Yeah. That's something I don't believe.
You say
You're
that
moving
like
too much.
You
Don't
say
breathe.
it like it's a bad thing.
Right. Then that is one thing he's always, told me, you got to be still, you got to be quiet, which I know that, know. But here he is. He's like over there, kind of getting situated, maybe take his dip out and put it in his lip. And
No, let's be
I'm
real
like
here.
standing there like,
Let's be real. Who moves the most?
the men?
Trevor. Because if he was still, his phone would be in his pocket. not Facebooking, not Instagramming, not taking
Wasting the
selfies
time,
in the
right?
tree on Snapchat, like, or probably even watching TikTok.
Just passing the time. Just passing
Right.
the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
This-
not very still movement.
This isn't about beat the shit out of Trevor. This is about the woman's perspective.
I think
Oh.
we're getting the raw woman's perspective.
We are. We
I was
are.
just
This is
Darn it.
I was
I
just
just don't understand
explaining
it.
how I thought it was better for me to do it with Kim
I
for my
totally-
first time than you.
So thanks, I appreciate that. So Kim, so you've been hunting for a while. Like what was it for your first experience going into the woods when Steven had got you involved?
Time to
in-
get me beat up.
Yeah.
No.
So like how has it been for you? Like how long have you been hunting and kind of like what have you gone through when learning and getting into the woods?
So growing up, my family, we were not, I say woodsmen, like we're not hunters. I've done a few pheasant hunts like the guys have in the family growing up and whatnot, but to actually be out there full hand doing it all, it all started once getting married to Steven. His family has always done that. He's always been out in the woods hunting. And I found that passion through Steven. But with him teaching me, he was a little tough at first. I mean, I think because he wants the best. He wants the best outcome and wants me to do things right. And
She's trying to look me in the eye with a straight face.
Exactly.
I am. No, it's good. I've never really had bad experience. As he's looking at me like bull BS.
No, she's never had a bad experience.
No, never.
No, I mean, there's a couple times like he gets on me, or something. But again, it's just all in.
Like the buck on the ridge.
Yes, yeah. Like the buck on the ridge. That button doe. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Kim's first was a button doe.
Yeah, better watch out. They're out there.
Real live button does. Better watch out.
No, it was good. I've never really had a horrible experience, and like I said, he's always just done his best and trying to teach me. And
Well, we eased her in, so she really got to go out and do a lot of scouting out west with us, looking for elk, looking for mule deer. She did our primary spotting, so really we just say look out the window and tell us where the deer are, so we can then move on them because her eyes were a lot better than ours. Not gonna lie. And then
That's the thing with women anyways. Like they pay more attention, their heartbeat is less, their breathing is less, their eyesight is way better.
So what are you trying to say? We're the best?
No, well,
no,
well, when it
that's
comes
not
to
what he's
shooting,
saying.
we have to work harder to be better than you is what it is.
Yes.
Close.
So basically, that was her get go, and then she actually pulled a coos deer tag. Well, that was 2010. So it was my last year in the Army. So 2010, she got a coos deer tag, and they went out and they hunted for a few days. I was away on training, and it didn't really work out. The border crossing kind of made it tough at the time.
yeah, I think I saw more illegals than I did deer, and definitely Border Patrol was out. Saw a lot of Border Patrol up on the ridges and watching whatnot and through the ridges and whatnot. But so, yeah, it wasn't really the greatest first hunt.
What kind of style hunting is that?
It was long range rifle.
Yeah, she had a 300 Win Mag,
Oh, geez.
and she was practiced and proficient out to about 500.
Wow.
I went out with Steven's brother and sister-in-law, and Steven did get to come meet up with us after training for a day or two.
Yeah, we went out
and,
for a day.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of glassing, and I liked that, soaking up that morning sun, and we did see some mule deer.
P.S.
but
She is a morning person, so
that I
mornings
am.
are easy for her.
We did see Santa Claus. No
Forgot
lie.
about that.
Here, why don't you get a little closer to the mic?
Okay, sorry.
Here, tilt it up a little bit for us, Steve.
Yeah, I got you.
So we were glassing, and we did see actually a lot of other hunters on the ridges glassing as well.
Let me just run this whole thing.
He likes to interrupt me. But we were glassing, and no joke, to the left of us, I'm looking through the binos, and I'm like, no way. Like, that's not what I'm seeing. It's Thanksgiving time, too.
Yeah.
And I'm looking again, and I'm like, nudging Steve, and I'm like, dude, there's a guy out there
So
just like Santa Claus. And like, he looks.
In like the middle of the desert?
yeah,
And, yeah, in the middle of the desert.
right off the Mexico
I guess that's,
border.
his hunter orange was
Yeah,
red.
he was in like a Santa Claus outfit, sitting on a ridge with binos and a rifle, looking for deer.
Yes, and he saw us. He saw
waved.
us. He waved, and I'm like,
You know, and he was good 9,000 yards away, something like that.
I got a funny story that reminds me a little bit of something about what you were just talking about, okay? I this one time hunted with this guy who he wore a green, blue, and black poncho in the tree. We were actually hunting on some public land, and I had come down this trail, and I was like, I look up in the tree, and it's like, it's not even like the tree was like kind of hidden, but the tree was just like in the middle of this grass pasture, and this dude with long hair is out there with this big like pincho. It was more like it was like, you know, like those like stoner carpet sweatshirts. You ever
Yes.
seen what I'm talking about?
Yeah, smoker's jacket.
Yeah, smoker's jacket. But it was just like, it was a blanket with a fucking hole in the middle of it, and the dude was just wearing it out in the middle of the field, and it was like teal, green, and like black, and yeah. So I've seen some crazy shit in the woods too. But
Yes.
go ahead. And I think he came over the fucking border, and he came all the way up here wearing his poncho. But go ahead. Sorry,
Was he a ninja?
he was a ninja.
Definitely was.
Self-proclaimed, I hear.
So go on about the Santa Claus.
Anyway, so
Had
yeah,
to break it up.
we saw Santa and pretty much killed the hunt after that day because it was pretty much useless. Border Patrol and all the crossers pretty much blew all the deer out of the area. We weren't seeing nothing. And then we moved to Virginia.
Does that happen a lot though, where like the Border Patrol will actually mess up hunts on you, or you'll see them a lot, like because
Oh,
they
yeah.
obviously like walk around patrolling and stuff?
Well, the biggest thing out there is actually the Blackhawks, the helicopters.
Really?
So there was twice that we spotted muleys. We had a couple of does, no bucks spotted yet, and we're watching them, and a Blackhawk would come over the ridge and blow them out.
Wow.
And then the deer would go to the bottom. Well, guess where all the Mexicans
illegals
were.
yeah.
They're all down in
They
the
were
bottom.
all on the bottom, so the deer blow out the other ways. And before long, they're scattered to the wind.
That's insane.
It was interesting to be a first hunt. I mean, we were told to
Yeah, she chose the hardest hunt you can do in North America.
the coos deer.
the goose deer. It was interesting. I mean, we were told to, at that time with illegals, I'm sure it still is now, but if you see backpacks in the middle of nowhere, don't touch them. I'm sure somebody's got eyes on them. They call them mules, drug mules, so if you see footprints, try to walk the other way. If you see somebody, don't talk, just, back away,
Ignore 'em and
disappear. And I remember that first morning going out, we park the truck and we're all getting ready and we start going out. His brother had scouted the area beforehand. He knew the unit better than we did. And so we went up this ridge, and it was like an old mine shaft. And it was just like a sand bottom in between. And you can see footprints running up it, but we're like, okay, maybe some other hunters, because there was a lot of people out there. And sure enough, though, there was this like mine shaft. The door was in there. All the footprints, were going up into this mine shaft. And Doug, my brother-in-law, he just was like, just keep going. Just keep going. Don't even stop. Don't talk. Just keep going. And so we can finally get up on the ridge to glass, and whatnot. But so it was interesting. I mean, it was fun. It was, your first experience and your adrenaline and you're excited and you don't know what to expect. And it was neat. And I think, and that was Jerry's, I don't know if it was really her first time going out, but to have, I guess, another female hunter.
Yeah.
We all, as couples, went out together. So
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
She started off easy with long-range rifle. Then we moved to Virginia, and she picked up a bow.
So how's that? How's that been?
I'll let you explain.
I love it. I mean, I've been wanting to look for something that I have to like work hard again, feel that success if you do good. And I mean, pulling a trigger, is easy, and I'm not against, gun hunting by any means, But I like that drive that you have to work hard for it. You're always tuning your bow, you're always having to work and make things sure are correct and you're on target, or you're testing different arrows, or making different arrows, and you're just always having to utilize the bow to become better. You always have to practice, and that is one thing I've always, I guess, grew up with sports, is constant practice. You practice, you get better. Practice, you get better. And I mean, guns, I don't know. To me, guns, you can go to the range and shoot a couple down range, which is fun. But it's just bow, I think, it gives you that push, I guess, to become better.
That edge.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. That's cool. So have you, and you've harvested with a gun before?
Yes, I have.
Just not the bow yet?
Not the bow yet, no. Last year was my first, I'm going to say,
first year hunting
big
with the
year hunting with the bow. I mean, I've hunted with the bow the year before at our hunt camp down south. Didn't see anything. I was fresh with it and just had no idea really what to expect.
Just breaking the ice.
Of course, absolutely.
And
it just doesn't come that easy.
No,
it's not you just go in the woods and shoot something.
What do you mean? That's what happens on TV.
Well, of course. That's why I was trying to have you explain that it's not an easy thing.
No.
It's not a
no.
It's something that you have to go through and it's a task, and a lot of people
and learning about range, that you have to be the patient for them to come in, and it is much different than a rifle or a muzzleloader, and no, it's not easy.
And to get to learn, because a lot of people do give up in doing so sometimes. They don't want to put forth a lot of effort into it, so for you to go through an entire season trying to be successful with it and then it not working, you didn't give up, that you're still at it. So now you're 2 seasons in and you're still at it. And you're probably going to shoot a buck that's bigger than most people have shot in their first 10 years of deer hunting. So
my fingers are crossed. That is what we want.
That's right.
I mean, he's nothing huge by any means, but for me, it's going to be
he's
a proud
as big
moment,
as anything on the wall.
And meat is meat for me right now. I'm not far into my archery. What do you want to say? Career, yeah. And so I'll take anything. I mean, we have a spike out there we've been seeing. We have does, so I just want to get that first kill out of my way. I guess those jitterbugs and
tonight's the night.
Hey, yes.
Tonight's
night two, Michelle. Night two.
Night two.
Yeah, and it's so not only did she just keep working and have a blank first year, didn't see anything. Last year she had a rough year. She nicked the blind on a shot and
2 times.
Yes, and skipped the arrow over the deer. So she has had shot opportunities and missed and had to go through that.
I'll be honest, 5 times. It was 5 misses, and
then we realized she was shooting a POS bow that wouldn't hold a 0, and we
piece of shit bow.
Yes.
Well, I thought you said PSE. I'm sorry.
Same difference.
All right.
So we upgraded her. We've got her shooting the Ember this year, and she shoots as good as I do.
She's singing.
So
no, it was
no excuse this year.
Definitely, definitely all a learning experience last year. Trial and error, I guess, and the emotion of you think you got the deer out there and you see him jump and you're like, yeah, I actually felt really good, and then a few minutes later and waiting and you go out because they ran away, and I find my arrow and there's no blood, and I'm like, bite my tongue, and there's a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear just because of that frustration. You try, you put your work into it and your love and devotion, and it was like, miss 3, I'm like, son of a and then Steven comes out and
we would sit down every time and we would rework the shot, figure out what happened. That's how we figured out she nicked the blind twice. Yeah. Just different things. And she'd be like, well, here's what I was doing. And then certain things with low light, she didn't have a clear picture of the pins.
I just wanted it, like I wanted it so bad. And I was so excited. And even like the first deer I actually got to officially draw back on was a little spike. Well, actually one horn. I'm still going after him this year, and he's actually bigger, and he has both sides. But
He's gonna be
Yeah, he was
a
a
beautiful deer.
He was a one-sided spike last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a nub and a spike, and that's what he turned into this year.
Wow. Could you imagine what that deer looks like in 2 years?
Well,
I know.
If he don't get got this year, we'll try next year.
Wow.
That's if we can keep the neighbors from popping him.
I mean, that seems to happen down here with the mountain mutants.
Oh yeah, they we have heard shots, and I'm pretty sure that some deer have already dropped out of season. But
Yep.
what do you do when you're up in the middle of nowhere? There are not many more wardens around to really check on that. People aren't reporting it because they really don't care. It's not like we eat black for deer.
Or don't hear gunfire.
Yeah, and it's legal to shoot around here. So you never really know, but it wouldn't surprise me if someone takes a pop shot at him during archery season. It happens.
It does.
I mean, that's part of it.
It is, sadly. when
It
comes
sucks.
up.
I mean, some of us are, ethical hunters, and we don't do those things or condone those things, but people still do them, and we just kind of got to live with it. My mic's so fucked up. All right, there we go. We're good. Sorry. It's weird. It's weird because like we haven't been face to face with anybody and had the podcast in a while. It's been since turkey season,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of weird to be. Like,
Yeah.
we got the computer going, the mixer board, the camera. I mean, it's just like it's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
It's different.
A little different.
It's definitely different.
It's worth it.
So, Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about your hunting career and where it started and why you've got into bow hunting and
why
shooting.
why
and,
you haven't shot at Trev yet.
Yep. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I don't really have a hunting career right now.
Well, it started.
Trying.
You've been shooting for 2 years.
Yes.
A lot.
Yep.
You've gone through 2 bows.
Yes.
You want to shoot a deer,
Yes.
but what was the deal?
I don't
Oh,
know
there's
what
a
was the
deal here.
Yeah.
There's a deal. I
had
didn't
to-
know about a deal.
Yes.
I don't either. To
So
be
when
honest
when
with
she
you.
had started, when she had her first bow, she had a Parker, and the deal was that she for her to be able to go hunting, she had to shoot 6 arrows into a pie plate. So, and then she did that, and then ended up with another bow. Somehow, she ended
Well
up
done.
she said, "I need a new bow." So then
Achieved.
we got the Ember. So she's been shooting the living daylights out of that, but just hasn't had the time to go out hunting until this trip, and then being able to go out and hunt. And
All work and no play.
Yeah.
Shame.
Absolutely,
Well-
that's the story of my life.
to understand, like, you have to be efficient with the bow and arrow before you are able to go out and hunt.
I'm not too bad with it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
My shot
She
better,
said 6 in a
probably
pie
better
plate,
than
right?
yours.
That's right.
Was
What's
that
that?
the deal?
Yeah.
Well, now she shoots 3D with us all the time and stuff like that. So she's had the experience, but still beginning to understand. But it's not like, I mean, you grew up around it. Your
Yes.
grandfather hunted.
My grandfather and my uncles.
They all hunted.
Yep.
But you just never really got into it until you met me,
Right.
because I'm special. No?
We all think that.
All right. Well, let's move
That
on.
face says it all.
Let's move on.
I'll just smile.
Move on.
I'll
Move
just
on.
smile.
We're moving on.
So you're one hunt into your career.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what was it? What went through your mind being in the blind? Like what was it a lot of anticipation? Was it
It was just a lot of anticipation of when is the deer gonna come? When are they gonna come? And you sit there and you're staring and you're not moving, but your eyes are, scanning back and forth and trying to figure out where is it gonna be, and then all of a sudden you realize you're sitting there so stiff because you don't want to move, that you bring yourself back to reality and adjust your eyes and kind of like give yourself a little movement, and then you do it all over again for another 15 minutes, 20 minutes of that anticipation. And honestly, I'll be honest, I thought we sat there for almost 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to be sitting here for 3 hours. This is going to be long. It was not long at all. I honestly felt I was there for like maybe an hour.
Oh, that's good. I feel better.
You know, even if it did feel like forever to me, you know, just to be a part of it and to experience was something that was great for me, you know. But like I said, just it was totally the anticipation. Just all of a sudden, are you going to see their head? Are you going to see their little tail wiggle? You know, like
An ear flicker.
Right. What are you going to see first? Is the whole deer going to come up, or is it going to be like crawl, like walking slow, crawl? Like what is it? What is it going to do?
Because you've never seen that.
No, because
No.
I've never been hunting with you.
Right.
I remember like looking over and I'm thinking to myself, like, and I'm kind of moving around and my chair is really uncomfortable and trying to even control my breath because it's obviously first day out for the season. And I remember thinking to myself, all right, when I was first sitting with Steven, I was the same way. You know, that's something they tell you. Sit still, don't move a lot. You know, you got to stay quiet, blah, blah, blah. We all know this. And I'm thinking I was so stiff. Because I was trying to abide by that, you know,
Right.
trying to do well. I didn't want to ruin their hunt or bust something if they, you know, because they can see us.
Right.
And so I remember just like looking over to Michelle and be like, take a deep breath, just chill. I'm like, you can move a little bit easier in a blind than per se, you know, in a tree stand or out. And I remember I'm like, it's okay to move, you know, we're good. Loosen up a little bit. And I could finally hear like, okay, right, you know, I could see your body motion. And
We'll just say I was sitting up pretty straight at the beginning, and let's just say I was pretty slouched by the end.
Yeah.
I think it always happens though, especially like in the blind, because you know you have that limit, you know, to look
Right.
out. You have you know, your windows, and you know, in the last like minute of daylight out there for us, I can still see not really blue skies, but like, you know, the last little, I'm like, man, but it's so dark and you're blind.
Right.
And I'm like slouching too, and I'm like, okay, gotta sit up, get straight again, and
Yep.
It would have been nice for you guys to see a deer, but
it would have been. And that's one thing we said, at least just, you know, even a doe walk back out again, just so she can see it. I tried to share with her, okay, you know, we have a persimmon tree growing out there and it's covered up, and trying to give her like an idea of size, you know, because it is, your eyes are playing that perception game. And like how you'd mentioned, you thought the land actually was pretty level and actually kind of drops off after our field. And, you know, you think everything's moving as a deer and the
Yep.
birds are out there moving branches or weeds, you know. And so just trying to, I guess, show her that way. She kind of has somewhat of an idea of maybe what to expect. I mean, you really don't until you actually see it. But that, or you know, trying to maybe tell her this is kind of ideas of possibly where they might be coming out at or something. And
Yeah, so you just stare at that spot.
Yep, that more often than not.
And then there's this little leaf that if you stare at it long enough looks like a deer body.
Yep.
And then you blink a couple times and you're like, nope, that's just a leaf. That's not a deer
same
body.
thing, it's not really moving.
I could swear it's moving. Like this morning, there was a doe on the spot we were watching, and I was watching. I'm looking like where you look away and watch out of the peripheral, and I was like, "There's a doe down there. It's moving." And the sun came up, and there was no doe. But it's that point of time at day coming in and day going out. Everything looks like a deer,
everything.
and it looks like a big deer.
Yes.
Even the
that is
squirrels.
for sure.
The
Yeah.
squirrels get bigger. Everything seems
Yep.
to get bigger because your anticipation of this is gonna happen, and you're just so jacked up about it. You just want to see it. And
Well, you know, you're like with me now. I really try to get like in tune with hearing what's around me, my surroundings. You know, you get used to the different birds, and then you finally actually get relaxed if something hits the blind or falls. We had, I think, something hit the blind, and she kind of looked
I
at
was
me
like,
like, "What the hell was
What was
that?"
that?
Yep.
And you know, then you finally, for me last year during my experience, I finally got to really hear it when they blow, you know, like to notify each other. And I thought I heard it last night, and I'm like, did you hear that? You know, like, or was it just me again? You know, like,
Yeah,
or
you know you've been listening too hard when you can hear the leaves falling. When they
Yep.
break off, you that click, and you watch it fall. You know you've been listening way too hard.
True.
Me and Steve had some fun though. We thought that there was things all around us the whole entire time.
There was.
There's something over there.
There was stuff all over around us.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? We thought that we were waiting for him to come in. We were after bears, and we were really hoping that bears were coming. And we had a ton of does on camera, and just we heard it down low. I'm like, all right, they're coming. The last like 45 minutes was insane because like you just hear it all around you. There was a turkey this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we thought it was gonna happen, and it just didn't. And
Big
that's
old
all
gray
right.
fox slid in on us.
That was really cool, man.
Pretty big fox.
He was gorgeous, and I just had that like, oh, I should thwap his ass.
Well,
But
and it was right after that hen was yelping.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, dude, you hear that? There's a hen down there. And you're like, where? It's like right down there. And I could see its head pop. And I was like, that hen's coming out. That's a fox.
And it was really cool to see.
You know,
especially
they
Greg.
sound the same.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you don't hear the fox. That fox was in and out twice, and you
What
never.
does the fox say?
I could go there. But we won't.
Anyway,
So I guess the real reason why we had you two on the podcast is we wanted to see your interpretation of what it is to deal with an outdoorsman throughout the seasons, and like what you guys have to go through constantly when us outdoorsmen, because obviously we're very avid outdoorsmen. Our lives revolve around the outdoors, whether it's hunting, whether it's fishing, camping, hiking. The podcast now has become a very big part of our lives. So kind of wanted to see kind of like what your thoughts were and like what you guys go through throughout the hunting season, whether it's having to get up early, because obviously no matter how quiet we are, you obviously are still going to have to get up and you're up at the same time, or when we get home late in the dinners, and it's kind of it's a different lifestyle for the wives too. It's not just us as hunters and outdoorsmen. So I guess we'll start with Kim. Like what are some of the things that all right, let's talk about some of the negative things. So what are the cons of being married to an outdoorsman?
what are your pet peeves? What drives you nuts during hunting season? Let's make it easy.
That's funny.
I can tell you mine.
Batters up.
Having to wait to eat dinner because it's cold and it's 8:30 at night, and I'd rather eat dinner early and then relax.
I might have to agree with that. I always am like, hey, it's hot. Let's eat. Let's get it done. Move on. You miss it, whatever. But I don't know. We've been married now 13 years, and I've had to deal with this for 13 years. And
I've got her trained.
when it
You
comes,
call it that?
you need to teach shit.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. But I'm pretty flexible, I have to say. And
If she's hungry, she'll text me and she goes, "Where are you?" And I'll be like, "I'll be home in 45." She goes, "Okay, I'm eating."
I'm always trying to get an idea, I guess, of time. And obviously things can happen in 45 minutes, and if so, he'll let me know and whatever. I mean, I can balance it out. Either I'll eat or he doesn't, But I don't know, pet peeves is kind of funny because I'm different than Michelle. I have taken on the outdoors woman, and
She can't complain because she does it too.
Right.
yeah, and I want to be involved actually majority of times. I'm wanting to learn and be out there, but not every time hunting season comes around I have that opportunity with work, and he can go out with the guys, have guy time and whatnot. I don't always have to be there or whatnot, but I'm pretty flexible. I think I've always had been. Do you want to comment on that?
I don't need to. Like I said, I got her trained.
It's his story. He'll tell it how he wants.
You're
right?
damn right.
That's it.
No.
So without you being involved, like at first, well, no, because you started right away, right?
I mean, I did. So, in Arizona, we didn't have that much time of hunting, just between him ending his military career.
Not getting drawn.
Yeah, I'm not getting drawn for Arizona.
That's a huge thing
We
out
moved,
Pain in the ass.
It is. It's definitely different compared to out here in the East Coast. And honestly, I think I really drawn to the hunting once we moved to Virginia. It's really, really it all started. For me to be involved all the time and learning. So I I don't know. I kind of debate.
I think
back and forth.
I'll say it for. I think her biggest pet peeve is podcasting and hunting season, because that's like 5 nights a week that I am not here, guaranteed.
It makes it. It does.
He's here but not here. You know,
Right.
like so. You know the setup and whatnot. Yeah, I always have to think it's maybe the podcast right now sometimes because you know now that COVID all happened, we're in separate. You know, I'm in the house and he's in the guest house or man cave, and he has
work,
his
let's
office
clarify.
and I have my office too. And you know, he works out here 8 hours and I'm in the house 8 hours doing my stuff, and then it's like podcast night and it's like another 8 hours and
Yep.
True.
you know, and I think some of that is sometimes it gets old, but it's his passion. And I completely respect that. I just do my own thing. And then again, I'll text him, hey, what time are you done? Or
I'll be
what's
at
it
the gym
looking
tonight.
like?
What
Or-
time do you think you'll
yeah,
be done?
I'll be going to the gym or something.
Yeah.
And, you know, do my own thing. So it is what it is. You know, I don't ever want to take that away from him or think that I'm encroaching.
Encroaching.
And I try to let him always have his time, his, you know, doing his own thing. The podcast is definitely y'all's own thing. So I don't know. It really hasn't been such a negative thing in our lives, in our marriage.
So Michelle, what is it for you? Because like when you started with me, I was obviously outdoor, more of a fisherman. Because I had because my whole life is revolved around it, right? So like fishing is 4 months of the year or 5 months a year. Then it goes into hunting. Then it's turkey hunting. Then it's this. Then it's that. You know. So it's like, it's always something. So what is it for you? Like, what are the pros and cons for you? Is this a bad idea?
Let her rip.
Well, it's obviously changed your life.
Yes, it has, but it hasn't. I mean, you do your thing. You go fishing. Okay, great. I go. I don't. Most of the time, I'm working. My work schedule doesn't allow me to do the things that you get to do all the time.
Right. So what?
And we want that so bad.
Right,
Sometimes, you know.
right. You know, I can't get up early even to go out hunting in the morning to then go to work, or even get out of work early enough to go hunting in the afternoon. So, you know, my day revolves around you getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, whether it's to go to work for fishing for fun, or going hunting. Then my day starts. And then my day ends around 4:30. Whether you're home from fishing or hunting, but you're not home from hunting yet. You know, so it's my duties, you know, the dogs, you know, make sure dinner's getting started or whatever it is, and then you get home and then my day's over.
Right.
You know? So the hunting and fishing is...
So what are your thoughts by like the end of the season? Because
That's what I was going to ask is
Yeah.
how far into the season do you put up with it before you're just over it?
You know, I don't think I've ever really given Trevor a hard time about the season from beginning to end anyways.
No.
I think it's always, if, you know, it could be a Sunday and we're at home and he's like, you know, I think I'm going to go hunting. You know, it's not like, no, you have to stay home because I'm home or whatever. It's always like, okay, well, that's, you know, that's fine. You know, I'm pretty easygoing about it. I'm not like...
You mean you're not if you get to go do that, I have to go do this?
No.
Okay.
You agree?
And they better be
Agree.
thankful for that because I'm the same way.
Yes.
I mean,
and I guess, you know, like we hear horror stories of guys that have wives that are different. Like, when are you going to be home? What is, you know, constantly nagging, or if you can't go hunting because you got to do this. And I have some friends that, you know, like they have to have family time and they got to do this. And I get it. And that's the normal balance of life. And I guess me and Steven are very lucky to have wives that are very accepting of our lifestyle, because it's not an easy lifestyle. We get it and we understand it. I mean, like when it's, you know, and we've obviously taken it to that next level now, having a serious podcast, because that takes up at least a couple hours each night, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's, it's during the day, or me bugging Steven about doing something because I come up with this fucking crazy erratic idea, or whatever the case may be. Or it's talking to people or communicating with people, and it's social media and it's this and that. So it's taken us to a whole nother level of more time that we have to take out of it.
As Kim said, that it's the podcast that kind of can be, I don't know, she didn't say irritating, but I'll say irritating is, the not so much when you guys do the podcast, it's the stuff that leads up to the podcast and being on social media and texting and calling you're on a phone call. We could be straight in the middle of a conversation and you literally don't even say anything and walk away. Those things are irritating to me because I feel like we're conversing, we're talking, and then all of a sudden,
oh, hold on, I got a phone call.
It's not even I have a phone call.
It takes precedent.
Right.
It takes precedent
right.
over.
Instead of just letting our conversation finish within the next 5 minutes and then returning the phone call. I'll say that's pretty much the only thing that bothers me about podcast land now. If you asked me this about a year ago, I'd have a lot of different things to say.
Yes. We've made it better for you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is a lot different. It's a lot better.
A lot
less stressful.
It is.
I have to kind of go off of what Trev was going. They are thankful that we are very flexible and easygoing and understanding and supportive. I don't think we've ever bashed him for doing what they love.
Oh no.
But we don't have children. You guys don't have children. I think that's another thing of families or wives. Well, I don't want to call them nagging wives because that's not, there's a reason maybe behind the method of them getting upset. So if they had a family, maybe that would be a different story. Hey, you got
right.
kids to come to, let's put them to bed together, or, whatever. But I think, if you have a family, you got to work that out.
Right.
And I think that might be where some of the women, the wives, might get a little frustrated in the hunting season.
Well, if we had kids, Trevor wouldn't be out as much as he is. And he's
Yeah,
out
there would-
every day
There would
pretty
be
much.
definitely different communication
Correct.
going on in the household and whatnot, they would have to balance.
Yes.
I mean, just as much as we would have to balance.
That's like saying, what are you going to, if I had a 150-inch buck coming in every day, I would do this.
Right.
But it's not reality, so.
Right.
Right, it's not reality, so then you can be home.
I mean,
I'm just kidding. So, let's put that in
Touche.
perspective.
It's just one of those things, though. I mean, I just, everybody talks about this balance, and I get it and I understand it because there is a lot of balance. For me, when it comes to hunting or fishing, if there's something that needs to be done, like a family thing or something, I know that if Michelle is to ask to do that or wants to go and do something, then I have to say yes every single time, because.
Not gonna lie, I've gone to a lot of family things.
I'm glad
by
I'm
myself.
glad this is recording right now.
Well, it's different. Okay, so when it happens in between the 15th of October to about the 25th of November, all bets are off. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a fuck what's going on. The world could come to an end. It doesn't really matter. I'm in the tree stand. I don't really care what happens. But any other time, you have to make that commitment. I get it, and for me, it's weird because, and obviously maybe you too, Steven, is that we have different families at home. You know what I'm saying? Compared to a lot of other people, like
Right.
Kim was just saying, with kids and big families and stuff. Our lives have revolved around the outdoors since we were young kids.
Right.
I mean, my life since I was 21 months old, I fucking started fishing, and then when I got 12, I got a hunting license, but I had been around it my entire life. And it's just everything I've ever done my entire life revolved around hunting or fishing. And that's it. And I don't think I know anything other than that. It's caused a lot of problems when it comes to my life because
A lot of arguments, stress.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not really
How
that.
about a 9 to 5 maybe?
No. See, that wouldn't happen. That's not me. That's not, it's weird, but it's not, and to have wives that accept that and are part of that, it's it's definitely a godsend. I mean, to be honest, because could you imagine a wife that was nagging and making you have to come home every single time? Like,
Yeah, I could. She'd have been gone 12 years ago.
exactly. It's that's the total truth, and you know, it's not an easy thing, and I don't know how the girls deal with it because but they've now made that part of their lifestyle.
Well, see what it is they've gotten to the point
We've
they
just
realize we're too
molded.
stupid not to, so it's easier to just join us.
Yes.
Right. Well, when it comes to the family events, we've made a pact. I no longer go if I don't want to. If he doesn't go.
Pretty
True
good pact. Pretty good pact. I like that.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So what is it? So now, obviously, like me and Steven are traveling now, more like, you know, the hunting shows and so on and so forth. What is that like? Not having, you know, with us traveling and stuff.
She
And
hates
obviously,
it.
there's going to be more. There's going to be more of it, obviously. and
Well,
it's-
she hates it, but not because she hates it. She hates that she's not with us.
Okay.
Exactly. No, because again, I do like to be involved in that experience and learn. I just want to absorb stuff, and he's right.
Yeah, because I got to go to
don't-
Harrisburg and you didn't join.
No,
Yeah.
nope, I didn't.
Yeah, she had to work.
No, so back, sorry, I do get mad.
Yeah.
I get mad that I'm not there. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm gonna admit it. I'm jealous. I want to be out there.
Which is a good
You
thing.
know,
Which is a good thing,
but-
and I totally understand that, and yeah, I get it.
See, but the problem is that's
a good thing though. That's
that's
very,
like
very
giving
good
a bottle of liquor to an alcoholic.
thing. Right. I get it.
It's like, yeah, here, let's do some
I
more.
want it. I want it. I want it.
Well, that's a good thing because, you know, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something along the lines of it sucks because, you know, I'm home alone or, you know,
Home Alone is
Well,
awesome.
That's what I was gonna say.
And as we were just saying when the guys left this morning, we slept so good. You know, no, I'm used to being alone, as sad as that sounds, but with military life,
that's
you
true.
know, and deployment.
true.
I mean, we had
Yeah,
family
our-
and friends around, but
so-
like my house was just me and the
To
dogs.
put it
you
into
know?
perspective, the first 3 years we were married, we were together for equivalent of about
Half
6
of
months.
that? I don't know, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
True, very,
You know,
very true.
4 days here every month
Mm-hmm.
and gone the rest of the month, and then deployments, and then coming back, then going on 30-day trainings and 60-day trainings, and
And then
it
deployment.
actually came down to about 6 months of time together over 3 years.
wow.
It is true,
That's
and I just
tough.
kept busy with my job. Through military life, I was coaching youth soccer and softball, and then, of course, once we moved back to Arizona, I was very, very involved in my work. It took up my life, and of course, family and friends. We had family and friends back home, and did activities and dinners and whatnot. So I mean, I'm used to kind of being alone out here in Virginia. It's just us. All of our family is all back out west or Kansas. You know,
Midwest.
Midwest, and so I've had to either adapt. I've always had to adapt, or find other hobbies, and that's where archery came into play.
That's no,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I totally get it for sure. So, Steven, what do you got to ask him? Because this was kind of like your idea, and I mean, like, I just want to make sure that we.
They're pretty well. They kind of turned it around on us, if
That's
you
good.
notice, because I was like, I want to hear the gripes and complaints, and new wives, be prepared for this and this and this, and they're going, oh no, it's not that bad. We love doing it. Everything's great. We've adjusted.
Well, the good
and-
thing is now it's on audio and it's on video, so there's 100% proof. So down the road, when there's a problem, it goes, well, why don't we go back to episode
revert
40,
back to episode
55?
53.
Oh, it's 53.
53.
And we'll
See, you said it was okay right there.
Replay it.
Yeah.
Replay it.
around 48 minutes and 45 seconds. It was about right where you said that it was all right.
I guess I can finally come up with one thing that is very frustrating.
Okay,
Oh, great.
want to hear this?
When he buys new camo or
When
new,
have I bought new? Okay, I bought the
hold
hoodie.
on. Yeah, no, not just the hoodie. There's been through the time, you know.
She's not referring to camo. She's
And-
referring to the rest of the gear.
Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, well, where's mine?
See,
I want new camo. No, I think just the surprise aspect of just he's always getting new gear without saying anything or something, you know. But I mean, that's part
At
of it.
least you just have to deal with that with hunting. I have to deal with that with fishing.
That's true. And yes, fishing, hunting.
Yeah, that was
May 1st comes, fishing poles, reels, bait, boats. And then all of a sudden, all through the season, you come home with new pliers, new boots.
Knife sharpeners.
I need
Knife
this for this,
sharpeners,
but I
new
need that for
knives.
that.
Yes.
It just
Well, this
Then-
only works with that, so I've
Right.
got to have
Yeah.
this and that.
So
what-
then, let me finish. Then August 1st comes because
I'd
now
like my time back. I'd like my time back.
August 1st comes and then it's hunting season is on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
I need this. I need that. I'm going to need this. So there's no break here in our household.
24/7. Ugh.
it's so. I guess you need
I
that
told
shit.
you to
Are
be-
you
all right?
sinking
the hole
over
the
there?
hole in that
He's
seat I've got
eating.
worn out
I know, I'm
perfectly.
falling. I'm falling into the seat. But it's important because that's what I do for a living. It's my job. I have to. Those are tools of the trade.
Right.
But let me add what Kim did had a good point of. What did you get me?
You
A
get
bow.
plenty of shit.
I do have to say I got my own nice fishing pole and reel last year, and I got a new bow this year.
Right, and new camo and everything else. So you
I
do
got the
get it.
camo last year.
Yep. Well, you know what? You can spend your beautiful check on your own hunting gear also.
I didn't think that's how that worked.
Oh, oh, you want to get into the sport? I will tell you this, and for anybody whose wives are getting into it or girlfriends are into hunting, there is nothing more hard than to pack for a hunting trip all of your shit and then all of their shit. So now you have double the work to bring all of their stuff on a hunting trip.
triple.
Okay,
'Cause
he has 3 bags and I have 1. And a bag of regular clothes. He has 3 containers plus a regular bag
Right, and
of clothes.
that's why I was saying it's 3 times the work because we now have your stuff and we have twice as much shit as you. So it's 3 times the work.
yeah.
But let us go to a hotel or on a vacation and I'm going to have an eighth of the crap.
Right. But you have to make sure you have.
No,
sure
and
you're not-
I
you're
do
not
pack
hunting,
heavy.
you
I
know.
do pack heavy because I don't want to. I
Yeah,
don't want to be
I'm-
cold, but I don't want to be hot, and I got to make sure I have
What you need.
all the right attire for the
I'm like,
situation.
we'll be gone for 2 weeks. I've got a duffel bag. We're good.
Trevor will wear the same shirt and pants for the whole 2 weeks.
Yeah. So will this
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
What's the
might
problem?
he might change his underwear every couple days, but
Who needs underwear? When they get that crusty, just take them off.
you turn them inside out.
I mean, you can. It does work. I
You
have.
do that with your socks too.
That's the clean side.
Well, no, I like to wear my socks until they're like stiff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I'm mad particular about my socks. My socks have to change every morning. I'm weird about that. My socks definitely have to change constantly. But so
At
I
least
guess
something's fresh.
yeah.
It ain't your ass, but your feet will smell good.
Until deer season comes, I take 4 showers a day. Everything is scent
Oh,
crushed 75
yes.
times a
You're
day.
taking another shower.
Yep.
You haven't taken a shower in 3 days, and now you decide to take 2 in 1 day.
That's what hunting season's all about. So, what are some of your guys' goals with getting into hunting? And starting this whole thing off in your whole adventure in your hunting career. What is kind of goals that you've set for yourself? Obviously you've set them and you've come to the realization that this is what you want to do. This is a sport. This is a passion. What are some of the goals that you've set for yourself?
Well, obviously right now is just to get that first kill with the bow. Like, that's my goal. I've worked hard this year. I think even harder than I did last year with
I can fully say she's prepared to hunt this year.
with going out after work and shooting.
Like we literally have the range set up to replicate the exact shots from the blind and her tree stand.
Yeah,
So-
we do. I mean, we change things around, obviously, because we don't want to have it stagnant. But I do. I mean, he's helped me. He's pushed me in a positive way. And obviously, I want to.
Reverting to last night's conversation.
The deer or my first hunt. But it's just that is my main, honestly, my main goal right now is just to get that first kill with my bow, and then focus on. I want to do more with understanding, like, obviously getting into the saddle, because right now we have like a tree stand for me for our setup, but for me to be able to go out into the woods and be more mobile and not have to worry about carrying everything in and setting it up, because Steven usually had done that before I did anything. And so that would be my next goal, is to actually get comfortable with the saddle and be able to go out and do it myself.
The easiest way to put it is she wants to be able to get in the truck after work and drive out to public and go in and find hot sign and climb up and hunt it. No help needed, no nothing, strictly off her own mind.
I do. I think that's really what I want. I just want to be doing it on my own.
She wants to make that call that you need to come drag this damn deer out for me.
Damn.
That's
good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get that call.
And
I'd like to see that call.
She's getting there.
I want that call.
That's it.
But no, I think that those are my two goals right now. I don't want to get too many out there. Little achievements at a time. What's next? What's going to happen?
That's a pretty big achievement.
I achieved it. Well, it is, but I mean,
That's the angle.
yeah.
I get it. I love it. How about you, Michelle? What are your goals since you started this?
Just to get out there and see what it's really all about, and actually, whether I see something, whether I have a shot, whether I don't have a shot, just to go out there and
Just kind of understand what we go through, and
yes.
I like it.
That's the start.
Hey, no, it's a start, and then you got to start somewhere.
I'm not.
You do.
Would it be great to get my first deer? Yes, but I don't hold that expectation for my first year of hunting, to be honest with you.
No, it's honest. And then that way, when it does happen, it's going to mean that much more.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No.
It is. It'd be like me last year. I wanted it so freaking bad.
Right.
And
It would be awesome. It would be great. I would be really ecstatic. And but I just feel that it just being a first time hunter, that you just need to be out there, and I haven't done that except for with you last night. It was the first time, so just getting out there and seeing what it is really all about.
So, from your guys' opinion, do you think it was better going out your first time with another female?
Absolutely.
So you recommend that to any first-time woman?
Absolutely.
Go out with another female?
Yes, absolutely.
Not your husband's?
I mean,
I can't
I'm
say.
I don't know. Never been there.
I'm not gonna say it would be. It was probably better for me, because me and Trev, we
Hey, you haven't shoulder punched him once during
Yeah,
the show. I'm impressed.
I've been holding it back. No, I'm just kidding. Him and I, the little nitpick or the little,
Yep.
little jabs here and there, especially when I'm trying to understand something, or, you not even necessarily ask a stupid question or a question, sometimes his patience with me is very thin sometimes. So
It's not just, that's every married couple at a certain point.
Right.
Most definitely.
Right.
You have those little ticks, and I have to agree, and this we learned the hard way as well, that it is very difficult for a experienced husband to take an inexperienced wife out after that
Right.
line is crossed, and
Right.
you have that, because then you're comfortable just saying, hey, you did this wrong.
Right. Right.
It's not like when you were dating, you're like, hold on, let me walk you through
Right.
this.
The
Right.
tone.
Yeah.
It's the tone.
Yeah.
Right. It's the tone, and when you're trying to do it right and trying to understand, and then you get that little attitude of, or snippety snap, you're
what
like,
the hell are you doing?
it's
Yep.
And it
it
could really,
just
I'm
makes
guilty. I'll tell you right now, I'm guilty.
it just
could
makes
drive
it
you away from it, though.
Yeah.
It could drive somebody away from
Yes.
it.
Right.
And that's
instantly.
what I'm getting at.
it just makes
is-
it more stressful for somebody that's learning. So knowing of somebody who has some experience and going out with them, and you know what, maybe even going just with you,
yeah, it
Steven,
would be
would have
different.
been different to them with
Right.
going with Trevor. I mean, but it, being woman to woman, it was more, understanding of each other,
Right.
and
And Kim had gone through that.
right.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think for
Many
my best, for
times.
me, my best situation was to go with Kim.
So, like I was telling Trev last night, we actually, when we hunt, most of the time, we don't hunt together. She's had her best hunts with other people. Because then she's sitting there going, you heard this dude's full of shit. I know better.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not nitpicking at her.
Right.
But they always tend to see the game. But if we sit together, we don't see nothing. So
I seem to have that fucking problem with you too, Steven.
I think it's just me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
We're going to find out tonight because we're going to public and we're separating. I'm fucking being far away from you.
New
No, I'm just
public.
kidding.
We've never put foot on it. Well, I fished on it, but never done anything on it. So we're just going to go up there, see if we can find some hot sign and get on it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
super
fun.
pumped. So I guess the last and final question that we ask everybody, and I know you guys have been waiting for this question. Well, at least Kim has. Michelle probably doesn't even know what this question is because she doesn't listen to podcasts because she doesn't give a shit about it. But the
That
whole
is not true.
I know. I'm just
That is
kidding.
not true.
I'm just kidding. I was just
Speaking
being
of,
funny.
speaking of,
That's
so
for you.
I will ask you, Kim, what drives you outdoors?
I've been waiting for this question.
I know you have. I wasn't even gonna ask it. I wasn't
Yeah.
even gonna ask it until you said something. So
Yep, I'm like
I figured
getting
it.
my hair ready, and I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna ask me that question.
And I was like, "What's the question?"
exactly.
You did
See,
feel like it.
my point, guys. My point.
No, what drives me outdoors? There's a lot of things that drive me outdoors. I think the number one is just the solitude of to be still. Like, just take it all in, let everything rewind, wind down for the day. It's my time to just kind of be me. I love God. I focus on God. I thank him for what he's given me in front of me, even maybe a harvest. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of things, the nature, the beauty. I mean, a lot of things to just be still and just be appreciative of what's out there. You're not in the hustle and bustle of everything, and you're just quiet and you're by yourself.
I do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
every time you come to Virginia,
That's it.
it's a lot of sitting and just being still.
I know how that works, Kim, here in
Yes,
Virginia.
yeah,
so
you too?
I get,
You too,
I get,
okay.
I get why it's like that. So, Michelle, what drives you outdoors? Or what is giving you the drive to want to be outdoors? I guess the question would be. Crickets?
She's got to
You
process it. 'Cause
She's saying this politely.
like you stated, she's in that period where she's developing that drive.
Right.
Right.
So she's still trying to figure out why she wants to do it.
Right. He's absolutely right. I mean, I can't
That's
really
what I
tell
just
you.
said. I said
It's
what?
because I said it, not you.
Oh, okay.
Right. It
So, Steven, why don't you ask all the fucking questions?
It sounded better from him.
Right.
It's that voice.
Right.
It's that
It's that
smooth jazz
That
voice.
radio
Yes.
voice.
Jesus. The guy
Yeah.
with the radio face. Go ahead.
I mean, just to experience something that I've never experienced before and seeing you do it and the joy that it brings to you. And then, because, one thing that we didn't really touch on is, do you help your husband process his deer when he gets it home?
Ooh.
Yes, actually, I do. I've had to learn. Stephen has taught me to, process the deer. If you want to go out hunting and you want to be involved, you got to do it all. And so, yes, I've done it all. Time, whatever it takes, I actually find joy in it. Gardening and canning, I just like to be always hands-on. I know what I'm getting out of it. I'm doing it for us. I know what we're feeding for our family. So yeah, any harvest, deer, turkeys and fish, obviously, I'm full on involved.
Yep. So am I. Trevor brought me to a butcher shop.
Well, that's where it all started for us, anyways.
Yes.
Packing meat.
Packing meat every day of the night
Yep.
during deer season.
So my family had a processing butcher shop, and we would process over 300 deer a year, and that was our life. 4 nights a week. That's all we did was skin deer.
4 nights a week. I think sometimes it was 6.
All right, so 6 days a week.
Yeah.
My voice is correct. We would actually process deer. So you started, and it was kind of like that's where it all started. So when we started dating, it was like, all right, I got to go to the farm and work. So then that's where the training started. This is my life. This is what we do. We kill animals. We process deer. This is where it is. And then it's kind of taken off from there 5-6 years ago.
And then you have Thanksgiving in the middle of deer season, so you have to process turkeys too.
Mm-hmm.
We do 500 turkeys a year.
500 turkeys a year.
Oh my.
So it gets a little hectic, and the processing part of it. So now, and even having the Euro shop now, and that Michelle has to skin the deer heads. That's her job. So
Yes.
The nastiest of it all.
Does he pay you well?
she gets dinner. She's allowed to eat. So,
Union break.
Yes, I do
Every
help
5
process
hours.
the deer heads. I will not do eyeballs, tongues, or dejaw. I will remove the skin and the excess meat, but other than that, no eyeballs or tongues for me.
What about the brains?
Trevor does that part. He blasts them out.
Yeah, that was one thing I'm like, I'm not like I said, I don't get grossed out with like blood and guts and stuff. I actually
Something
kind of
about
like
scrambled brains in a bag.
But like the
Right.
brains or like seeing the eyes, that just kind of, I do kind of, turn the lip, I guess. Like that's not, I don't know if I can really do that yet, but.
I mean, on top of it all, I do deal with the Euro stuff too when he's not home. You know, the beetles still have to be fed. They still need to be taken care of. So, you got to keep them warm, and you got to keep the moisture down, and you got to move heads or people dropping off heads that look like they have penicillin growing on them. And you got to sit there and listen to their hunting story for a half hour, which is great, all and good. Believe me, I listen to them all, but I do handle a lot of that stuff when Trev's not around either.
that's what we need. We need more of that. Well, Kim, you had a crazy story. We were in Iowa, and your Tom got sick, and
So we have some turkeys. At the time, I think we had like 2 or 3 of them, and chickens, obviously. But it was time for good old Tom to be put down, and I went in to go, put him back onto the coop, and I'm out there by myself, and Tom just didn't look like himself, and we had already discussed it's time to butcher him, and they are meat birds, and that's the reason why we have raised them, and it just came a lot sooner and very unexpected in the timing, and Tom didn't look good. He wasn't getting up or anything, and I was like, and it was supposed to get very cold that night. My concern was he would die actually overnight in the coop and freeze, and then I would have to he'd be all wasted. And obviously you put that time and money and effort into raising him for meat. So, and I have not officially gutted an animal
She hasn't had to clean a turkey
by
yet.
myself or by myself. I've seen you guys do the turkeys with the vets and whatnot, and of course your own, but watching is obviously different than doing. So I'm calling Steven. You guys are up in the Iowa and at the Deer Classic show or something, and I'm kind of panicked actually, thinking it's midnight. I don't know, 9:00 midnight. I don't remember. It was dark, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay, I know I have to butcher him. I want to do it obviously in the most humane way as possible, quick, I'm like, okay, I've always watched shows of how to do it, hang him upside down, slice the neck, maybe it actually calms the bird and it's quicker for them to pass away. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what do I do? All right, 22. That was the first thing that came into my mind. Grab that 22 and just pop him, right? And I'm talking to Steven. I'm like, well, geez, it's dark. We have a scope, but on the little 22, and I'm thinking, okay, I can like spotlight him because I want him, shoot him one and done, and so I'm out there and I'm like, okay, Tom, I'm so sorry I have to do it this way, and I'm like trying to get the spotlight on him, and I get the gun, and I missed with the 22 because he was so close. Like, well, I didn't. I wouldn't say I missed. I nicked his like the little skin on the end of his neck, right? And I'm like,
whoops,
son of a gun, and I'm like, I can't do this again. Like he was already, he's like, this sounds really bad, you guys, if anybody's listening, and I'm sorry. But, he's on the ground and he's just slowly like bleeding out. And I'm like, this is not right. This is not what I wanted. I'm calling Steven, like panic mode. What do I do? And he's like, step on the head and kind of
stretch him out
and break the neck. And
and there's a 38-pound bird.
Oh, yeah, he's huge. He's heavy. He's so big. And I'm trying that, and I'm not succeeding by any means. And I'm causing more pain to Tom, and I started crying because I'm like, this is not what I want. I felt so bad for the bird. And I finally just grabbed his knife set, and I went out there, and I just finally closed my eyes and, cut his neck, and he finally was able to just bleed out quick and be done. Watched a YouTube video real fast on where to cut him up and what to do, and I knew, of course, to pull the feathers back and move forward with cutting out the breast. But yeah, that was not what I wanted for my first time experience with my own bird, I guess. And nonetheless, it would not matter if it was my own or wildlife, but not what I wanted by any means. Not my.
Yeah, but you did it.
I had to. I mean, he
Right.
was already injured from my air, and it was not. To me, it was like not a humane way of the whole process of ending my bird's life. I felt really bad, but now I know.
She'd been educated.
Just wait till daylight. Just kidding. Just wait till day. Yeah, if he freeze, he freeze. No. Yeah.
But yeah, she got through it.
I
She
did.
called us and she said, "It's done. I've got it. I've got the meat. We're okay."
And they were, yes, each 14-pound breasts. They were huge. They filled up my whole sink, like one breast did. And Tom has provided us with good turkey meat, so that's why we raise them.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's why we hunt. That's why we fish. That's why we
That's why I
It
prefer
is,
to shoot
it
my
is.
turkeys in the face.
with a shotgun.
Well, we have a few neighbors around because I thought about the shotgun, but it's nighttime. I'm like, my luck, I'm gonna get like a call, and somebody's gonna come up, game police or whatever. You've
Have
got
you
a
seen
shotgun
where we live?
It's Virginia. You can do whatever
It
you
is.
want.
And I know it probably wouldn't have happened. I mean, but those thoughts do cross through my mind of trying to be cautious and be aware. And
You're not 100
You know.
yards within a church, so you'll be all right around here.
it's true. It's true.
So
Easy enough.
I probably got caught like spotlighting and shooting the animal. I don't know, like some
Yeah,
stupid thing.
right.
of course.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's mine.
He was gonna die tonight.
Oh, crazy. Well, what do you think, Trev? You about ready to
Hit some public.
start packing up and go get this public thing rolling?
I think so.
All right. Well, girls, thanks for joining us. It was a push. We know you guys didn't really want to, but
You should have seen them when they were getting ready. When we told them that they had to be on the podcast, they were like taking showers, putting on makeup because we had to do video and audio, and now we can't get them to stop talking. So I think we should cut them off now, and we can get back to doing what we need to do.
yeah, we'll go with that story.
We do have to look good for you guys.
I'm glad you still feel that
Thank
way.
you.
Because apparently we don't.
We don't care.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your time here, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
And we expect to get that call of come drag my deer out. So
We would have it skinned and ready to go.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'll let her gut it. I'll help her skin.
I'm all for it. I hope that's the case. Less work
We will
for
have
us.
our own story.
Right?
Yep. Cool.
And then you have your own podcast too. How's that?
Just another episode, maybe.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's what I meant.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. For everyone out there listening, everyone out there watching, greatly appreciate you guys joining us. It's been a fun conversation, and I believe it's the first of its kind. So hope you guys enjoyed. Share it around. Let first-time wives and even seasoned wives take a look and see what some of our antics are.
And make sure to like, subscribe, share.
follow, hit
follow,
the notification,
do some
all
shit.
that extra stuff. And I will say that follow and subscribe will play a very big part here very soon for something very big coming up. So
For sure.
we will let you guys know as that comes down. And in the meantime, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.